everybody. I'm going to be showing you today, this is going to be a monotonous video, but I'm going to show you all those different fabrics and different combinations of batting and flannel in between, and then the crib sheet on the back and the onesie on the back, and you can do flannel on the back. There's so many combinations. I wanted to show you just a quick, give you an idea of how that's going to look as you're pinning and as you're cutting all of your different pieces to put together. There is going to be what I like to call a sandwich, and you're going to have the top. This is the top of the sandwich. This is the inside as your batting or flannel, and then the bottom of the sandwich is that back fabric, the fabric that's going to be on the back of your quilt. So that's just a quick little my mom was telling me that the sandwich thing really clicked with her. That helped her remember how to order things. So I'm going to bring you down here and show you on the rotary mat what I'm talking about. When you have batting, again, these 6-inch fabric squares, they're all 6 inches all the way around, and that's your fabric square. Your batting needs to be a 1/2 inch smaller all the way around. The reason for that is you're going to have an inseam. You're going to have a 1/2 inch inseam all the way around. If you don't know what an inseam is, please Google it. But I am afraid that I'm going to get too monotonous here as it is, so I don't want to get into inseams. But basically, it's just leaving you some extra. This is what's going to rag. When you're done with your quilt and you have this material out like this, this is what you're going to snip. You're going to have that material there to rag it. And because you don't want your batting hanging out, you don't want to see that, we're cutting it a little smaller. So for this example, I'm doing my crib sheet on the bottom. This is my cotton batting. So this is the cooler of the two types of batting that I'm going to be showing you. So this in South Florida would be the way to go. And then I'm going to do the top of my sandwich. So this is the part you're going to see. This is the part that's going to be up. Now to pin it, you're going to go in the middle here on one side, not the corners, and the sides. You're going to pin it here. Depending on how confident you feel, this is where you can stop. We're going to put an X here that I can explain while I'm sewing. I'll explain why. But we're going to stitch an X right in the middle of this sandwich. If you are new to sewing, go ahead and put some pins here. And that will make sure that your fabric and your batting don't shift. Preference. This is preference, whatever's easier for you, whatever you feel like doing. You can try both of them and see if it shifts. If it shifts too much, you're going to have to go in and take that stitch out, and that's probably going to frustrate you. So take a little extra time and put an additional 2 pins in. But again, you want to be on the sides. You don't want to be on the corners. Okay, so that's one example that I'm going to show you that you can do. Another example, for instance, we're going to use the back of the onesie. This is going to be the back of the quilt. We're going to do flannel. That's part of our sandwich. This is for if you want it real nice and airy, nice and light. And if you recall, the flannel helps you save a lot of time on sewing, and you're going to find out why in a minute. Okay, for this, if you have the flannel, and again, just to reiterate, the flannel, you want it to come all the way out. You want it to be 6 inch by 6 inch. Batting is 5 inch by 5 inch. That's different. You don't need the same type of inseam on this as you do for the other one. So you're going to bring that all the way out. You want to see this. Does that make better sense? You want to actually see the flannel in between. So the way to pin this, you are going to do in the corners. You're going to go right about there. I'd leave about 1 inch here. Here's another one in the corner. And on the flannel, get this, you don't have to put that X in there. Because you are going to be sewing all along here once we sit down to the sewing machine, you don't have to worry about stitching an X. So that's going to save you an enormous amount of time. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. This is all you have to do. The other one, you have to sew an X. This one, you don't. That's another example. And I'm going to show you one more. Again, monotonous. Okay, so there's my top. There's the top of my quilt. For this one, I'm going to pretend like I am in a cooler climate. Flannel is the back. My batting is that nice, happy, fluffy polyester. And again, same way as the cotton batting. You want that 1/2 inch around here because you're going to have to stitch an X. Okay, and then you're going to pin the same way. So this is going to be nice and fluffy. This feels wonderful, guys. I know that there's a lot of quilters that are anti-polyester, but in terms of feeling really fluffy and soft, and especially the flannel on the back, it's fluffy and this just feels really nice. Okay, so again, we're only pinning on the sides, not in the corners, because you now need to stitch an X right across there. Real quick, just to cover my bases, you want to do, I'm just going to tell you real quick, the X you want to stitch so that this doesn't shift, so this doesn't move. If you don't stitch that X and you go and you wash this or you fold it, mostly if you wash it, this can turn into a little ball and go to the corner and you'll never be able to straighten it out. So because you don't want that batting to shift, you have to put an X on here and you'll see it through to this side too. And as far as doing the X, you can do whatever color thread you want. If you feel like doing, hot pink, go for it. If you feel like being a little more conservative and sticking with white, go for it. It's totally up to you. This is your quilt. That's what I want so badly for this tutorial to do for people, is to have it be their quilt. This is not a tutorial where I come to you and I say, this is the best thing that I like. This is my preference, so you should do it. No. This is about finding out your preference because you are going to have this quilt for a very long time. So I hope all that helps. I know it was probably monotonous, but I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.